In today's video, we're joined by 𝗕𝗪𝗪𝗧𝗏, the CEO and founder of advice.io. We're going to have a look at the charts, we're going to have a look at Bitcoin, we're going to have a look at a few different altcoins, but we're really sort of going to ask that question, is now the right time to be purchasing crypto? If you enjoy this sort of content, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, tapping that bell, selecting all the notifications so you never miss a video. And do let us know in the comments below, what would you like Matt to chart next week? We love reading through your comments, so do let us know. And we do have a Discord now set up. Link is in the description of the video. It's a fantastic place to catch up with like-minded individuals to talk about the crypto you love 24/7. And we also have a membership package on Patreon now as well. We would love to have you as a member. We love to engage with our community, so much so that we do 2 weekly AMAs with our all access members. Now it's a bit of trading, a bit of charting, and you can ask us anything, a bit like Teams meetings. So really engaging, we do love them. We also have our buys, sells, and our staking alerts as well, so you're informed of every move in crypto. So if that's your bag, check out the link, it's in the description. In the meantime, let's get down to 𝗕𝗪𝗪𝗧𝗏 down at the desktop and have a look at what his thoughts are on the crypto space.
Hi guys, thank you once again for having me. Hi to everybody at Cheeky Crypto. Been an interesting week once again, hasn't it? Yeah. Where are we going from here? And I think that's the big question. And rather than just focus on a whole load of individual tokens, I think we just need to first of all look at the bigger picture. So just looking at Bitcoin here, it's been really interesting that I don't think I showed this. Well, I don't think I've shown this to you, but basically from back in April 21, we had a price here of 64.9, so 64,000 odd. Then we moved down to this low point of 29,000 in July 21. And then we got the peak, the all-time high of 69,000 something here. Now, if you draw a trend line from the peak price there to the peak price there, and then you just drop a parallel trend line down to the low prices here, it's really interesting. So from July 21, you could have had a target from the all-time high for a parallel trend line. Now, parallel trend lines are very common in all trading, not just crypto. And it just, again, it's another little clue that these markets aren't totally random. So there's no way this is random when you see that the price from all the way back here, you've already got the trend line up here, so you can just drop the trend line down. So back in July 21, you could have put the parallel trend line on there. And at some point in the future, there's a strong possibility you're going to at least hit that parallel trend line. Doesn't mean that's the end of the move, but it's a really good take profit from this all-time high that we had. And the fact that we had 3 waves down, 3 waves up meant that this was a corrective move, and we were looking for a further move down. But what's interesting, we're at a crossroads at the moment. So whilst we've got this support here on this parallel trend line, and I mentioned this yesterday on Market Watch, I just think it's worth repeating today, because whilst we've got the support here and it bounced precisely to the penny there, we can draw another trend line here. And what I'm trying to do here is just teach you a few of the techniques that I use. Trend lines are really important. And again, it just shows that the markets aren't totally random, they're pretty much controlled. So we've got put at the top of the price here, and every time the price touches or attempts to break through this trend line, it's bounced off, and it's bounced off again. And then the other day, we got a bounce from the bottom trend line here, the parallel trend line, and then we moved up to this one, which is a descending trend line, which is a resistance. So every time the price tries to pierce through resistance, it's rejected, and it's rejected. And once again, the other day, we bounced off the parallel trend line right up to here, and it was rejected again. And price came down we were at about 39,000, I think it was probably yesterday, and we're now down at 36,000 something. So a strong rejection yet again. And then we look at the personality of this particular move from the bottom. So you can see we've been moving consistently down, and what we get is really just many lower lows and lower highs. So every time it's moving down, lower lows, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. That trend hasn't broken yet. And they say the trend is your friend. Very important, because trend is important, momentum is important, and the momentum and the trend currently are downward. So I don't see any reason for that to change at the moment. We haven't broken this downward sloping resistance line. If we had broken through it, then I might well then change my mind and start looking at possibly doing some buy with a stop loss, manual stop loss just below. So there's opportunities to trade even in this difficult market. So down here, we hit this support line here. You can do your buy just above, and you could have a manual stop loss just below. That's past now. Up here, you could potentially, if you're selling, you could have a sell here with a stop loss just above. We're moving down now. As I say, there's no particular reason why the market should, until it breaks this trend line, which the price keeps getting rejected off it. There's no reason to buy in this market. So I wouldn't be buying, I'd just hang on. If it breaks above, then I'll start to think about it. So these sort of things are just little clues that can inform your trading. And then we can look at the Fibonacci relationships and the Elliott wave count and so on. But there's many techniques. And it's, again, I said before, all about circumstantial evidence. You can't convict someone, or you shouldn't convict somebody on one piece of circumstantial evidence. You convict somebody on a multitude of circumstantial evidence. Same goes for trading. You don't take a view on whether you buy or whether you sell on one piece of evidence. One piece of evidence isn't that strong, but you get lots of pieces of evidence, and then you can start thinking about it. But the overall evidence right now is that the trend is down. And until we break above this trend line, that's when you might start thinking about getting into a buy. Never try to catch the very bottom. It's just like catching a knife. Wait until you break this trend line. And if it breaks above, particularly if it breaks above and retests, then that would be a strong buy signal for me. But for the time being, the trend is down, momentum's down, all the signs are it's pushing further down. This is a token, 𝗕𝗫𝗀𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘. It's a relatively new token. I'll just click onto briefly. Somebody asked me about it. I don't like doing Elliott wave stuff on new tokens, because one of the rules for Elliott wave is you need to have a properly liquid market. A lot of these new tokens, they just engage market makers to drive a bit of volume. They still tend to follow the rest of the market because they're paired with the same sort of pairings, whether it be Ethereum or Bitcoin. That's why the market's so highly correlated. A lot of it is just because of the pairings they have. So I don't particularly want to look here at an Elliott wave analysis or Fibonacci's or anything, but just it is still quite interesting to look. I just drew a line here just below where the price has seemed to have stopped at the moment, and looked along again. This line was tested previously, tested here, and you can basically, there've been a few tests on this particular line here, so it's actually a fairly natural place for price to bounce from here, potentially a short-term bounce. But overall, again, we see from the top, we're not seeing anything positive on this chart to make me want to buy it. So we've got a strong impulsive move down. We're just seeing corrective overlapping price movement upwards. Why would you buy this until you see some real clear signs it's going up? So I'm sure I've looked into it actually a little bit, read a bit about it. We don't yet rate it on the eBuy platform. There's probably not quite enough data for us to rate it properly, but just looking and reading about it, it seems an interesting token. May well be one for an opportunity for the future, but just right at this moment, I don't see any really compelling reason to buy it. We'll have a quick look at 𝗕𝗘𝗪, which is one that I know everybody, the Cheeky Crypto guys, your community, are really interested in. It's not particularly clear, but again, I'll just try and zoom out a little bit so we can see a sort of longer term picture. Again, we're just seeing the price just gradually ebbing away. There's nothing impulsive about this at the moment in terms of an upside. And I've tried to look at it, tried to put some labels in here. We've got an ABC, which is an A wave. We've got an ABC B wave. We've got a choppy ABCWX. So it's all choppy stuff. It doesn't appear to be impulsive at all. And then we've got, from the X wave, we've got an A down. We've got a choppy wave B up. And I think we're probably going to get some kind of A here. This looks like some kind of choppy B wave and probably a C down. So it's not looking, there's no particular reason why I'd want to buy this at the moment. And that goes for across the board right now. So it doesn't mean I have to pick the very bottom of the market and get right in at the right time. It's just luck if you pick the very bottom of the market. But the signs are this, if we zoom out a little bit, we can see this is very choppy movement. So this is actually what they describe as a kind of coiled spring. So because the general trend is downwards, you would expect price to break down from this coiled spring. This is just it's just a congestion of price, and there's no real reason for anybody to buy it or sell it. So it's just choppy movement until something else happens in the market. It will go one way or another. So just looking at the Bitcoin. Well, actually, we've done Bitcoin, so let's jump to 𝗕𝗓𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘. Again, this triangle hasn't really been invalidated. So we've seen, just seen here on the longer term where we've got the origin, we've got a very clear ABC down, ABC up. This story hasn't changed because that's a long-term picture. So we've got 3 down, 3 up, and you'd expect probably a 5 down here. So it'd be 335, flat correction. Flat correction, you'd expect it to end probably somewhere around the previous low. But as the B wave was actually, actually it's almost identical. So yeah, you'd expect it being a flat correction, most likely to finish around the previous A wave here, this level you can see moving across. So my kind of reasonable target for this might well be that 13.4, 13.5 level. And the fact that we've got a fairly impulsive move down here, this is choppy movement across, it's really dragged down a lot longer. Normally I'd expect an impulsive thrust down from this triangle, and we've not seen that, but we haven't. I'll just try and open it out a little bit more here, just so you can see. So from the bottom, I got an A wave up, a B wave down, which is in 3, C, 3 wave up in C, 3 wave down in D, and probably a 3 wave up. It could be the E wave could be complete here, or we may well have a more complex E wave. Now you can actually have triangles within triangles, so the E wave could actually be a triangle itself. I don't like the look of it as a triangle, but it's again, it's just some sort of compression here. It's like a coiled spring once again. I would expect from this that this is a wave 4. Whether you call it a wave 4 or a wave B makes no difference. They're both the same, and that's triangles can only occur in wave 4 or wave B. But this typical personality you've got here of a long sideways correction is wave 4 or wave B, in my opinion. And so from here, I'd expect it to, if it's A, B, you'd expect to break down in wave C. If it's 3, 4, you'd still expect it to break down in wave 5. So either way, I am expecting these prices to break down. So we haven't broken above what I initially had. I actually had wave E labeled here, first of all, where I've got the question mark. That is still not being broken. So this triangle could well have finished here, and I don't know why it's messing about taking time here, but it's just, we're looking for something to happen in the market. And it may be, obviously there's tensions in the world. We've got the Ukraine potential issues there. We've got all sorts of crypto issues around the world as well, with Russia and China and so on. Maybe waiting for that bad news. So whether the charts lead the fundamental news, whether they're just awaiting fundamental news to come out, but it's just interesting that they always seem to align. So when that news comes out, and I suspect we're going to get some negative news out which will drive price down, it will align perfectly. So the market is just in a holding position at the moment in this sideways movement, and it is what's called a bear flag. So you've got the flag stick here, the flag pole here, you've got a flag waving in the wind which is slightly upwards, and then you expect a downward move to finish the move off. From there, we're going to move at some point in the not too distant future to new all-time highs, in my opinion. So this B wave will finish with a C wave somewhere here, somewhere, this isn't the precise level, just somewhere lower than where we are now, and then we'll move up to new all-time highs. And that goes for most of the market, whether you're looking at Bitcoin, So we'll have a quick look at 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘 here. I've not even thought about this one today particularly, but this is just a chart that I've got left over from the other day. Things haven't changed once again. We've got this sideways spring movement. So unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to give you a clear view on whether we should be buying or selling. There are times when you should be sitting on your hands and doing nothing and waiting for that clear breakout. And I think Bitcoin right now is probably one of the best ones to tell you when that breakout happens. So whether we break below this line, that'll tell you we're going lower. If we break above this line, that'll tell you we're going higher. So at least you know you've got some parameters. It's a little bit like some parameters. If you go up to this line, you can sell, as I say, with a stop just above it, and vice versa. But my gut instinct, as I said, after 35 years of trading, is that we're heading lower before we go higher. But don't ever take my word for anything. Do the analysis yourself and wait to see if it breaks above the line. Then you've got some clear indication. But I think the big takeaway from today is that it's just not clear. Phantom, again, just looks to me like there's nothing impulsive here. We've got a 3-wave move up. That's not impulsive. Impulsive moves are 5 waves up. And you can't say this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 because the wave 4 overlaps wave 1. That's not allowed. So this is a corrective move higher from here. So we are expecting, this is still just a correction. I'm expecting a lower price than the bottom of this A wave, which is 177 or thereabouts on the price. So everything is pointing to further moves down. And once again, we've got this bigger picture here. We've got ABC down. Just minimize that a little bit. ABC down, we've got some kind of ABC up. So once again, we're looking at either a flat or a WXY correction. So we are expecting probably price to test right down here at 115. So where we are right now, 190 to 115, substantial downside probably to come. And there's nothing attractive about this chart from an upside perspective. Yeah, I mean, we can look at any token at the moment. They're all following a similar sort of pattern. I'm expecting lower lows here. We're on MTV. I mean, great tokens and looking great long term. And you should, if you're already into these tokens and you're holding some losses, just hang on, because we're only expecting a certain amount of more low in the market to finish off this down move, and then we're going to move to all-time highs. So slightly different wave camps, but they're pretty much correlated. I just hang on, and if you haven't got any trades in the market, don't do anything at the moment, in my opinion, because we're just sideways trading, coiled spring. Wait for that spring to spring into action, show you the direction in the market, whether it be up or down. My opinion is it's probably down a bit further, and then get trading. So I hope that's helpful. It's not, I just hope it's been helpful, guys. And please come back with questions. Anything else that you want to know from me, I'll happily try and answer it. So get over with those questions, please, and look forward to seeing you again next week.
Super. Thanks, Matt. So big thanks to Matt Dixon for taking the time out of his busy schedule to go through the charts with us today. Don't forget to let us know in the comments below what charts you would like Matt to look at next week. If you enjoyed the content, we'd really appreciate it if you hit that like button. It really supports the channel and it's much appreciated. And if you haven't subscribed already, subscribe, tapping that bell, selecting all the notifications so you never miss a video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.